what's working and what is not working in the world of data today. That is the point of this update, and I have a special guest here to help me answer that question. In fact, we're going to talk about his thoughts. Here are the glasses you can wear, but also some of the available material you have online to get educated and start reading before this week's Data and Analytics Summit with Gartner. I had the honor of being published in the Harvard Business Review for this paper on transforming data into business value, so I might touch on that as well today. So now, if you've been following me on LinkedIn, you know that I'm coming back from a trip in Europe. I was in Zurich, Geneva, Paris, London, a few other locations for customers, partners, and analyst meetings. And this weekend, I'm back in the US here in Florida as we're getting ready for the Gartner Data and Analytics event. If you don't know, it's 4,000 data analytics leaders getting together, exchanging, learning. We're going to talk about data fabric, data products, data mesh, etc. All the themes that you might have heard me discuss throughout the past year. If you're looking to connect with me while I'm at the show here, there's at least 6 scheduled opportunities for you to do that. I have 2 talks on Tuesday, I have 2 talks on Wednesday, an exclusive CDO panel that I'm doing as well on Wednesday. I'm really excited about that one because it's run by Aviad, who I used to work with at Sisense. Now he's a VC and he's running that panel. So Tuesday, 2 sessions with my friends at Starburst and Dataiku. We're going to talk about data products and data to AI. Wednesday with Tamer and Nextlet, we'll talk about augmented data governance, data ops, data observability, and data fabric architecture best practices. And like I said, that CDO panel is run by Teammate, Data World, Dremio, and Manta. So before I ask the guests to come in here, there are a few people, like every week, I want to make sure you know and follow. The first one is the whole team at Carrefour. I had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with them. Miguel Angel Gonzalez is their global CTO and CDO, and his team's just amazing. Sebastian, Mehdi, Arno, incredible leaders pushing the limits on how you can use data in retail. If you have not heard about the story of Carrefour Links, catch my blog on that. It's really about this concept of building a data ecosystem with data in retail. Just an amazing initiative. Servier is another company you should follow, particularly their chief data officer, Karim, who I had the opportunity to meet with. He's smart, ambitious, and he's a lot of fun to work with. One of his employees had asked us to take a photo with these glasses here, and we did that, and I even posted it on LinkedIn, so you can take a look at that as well. And my third group of people you should know and follow is actually 4 amazing people who have helped make this journey through Europe an incredible experience. Guillaume, who's the group lead architect at Carrefour, Antoine, who's the enterprise architect at L'Oreal, and you can see Antoine, I'm wearing the shirt that you're giving me, as well as our Google Cloud, Johan and Javier, who really have made this trip incredibly valuable and impactful. So I want to thank you all. All right, so we're ready to bring in the guests. We all know the world of data is very busy, it's very buzzy, and we saw in the last few weeks, as I was covering the data landscape with our friend Matt Turk, that it's just more and more complex. There's 1,400 logos on this modern data stack landscape. So to help us kind of decrypt this world and break it down and simplify it for us, I'm going to bring in our guests. And our guest is Sanjeev Mohan, who is the host of the podcast It Depends, talks to a lot of vendors, talks to a lot of customers. So thanks for taking the time, Sanjeev. Let's get right into it. What is working in this space?
Great question. I am a huge supporter, very gung-ho about the data space. I've spoken about it, like I've even talked about it's a golden era of data. In spite of the economic headwinds, I see the utilization of data has gone up year over year. From the organizations trying to derive intelligence, value, faster than ever in the past. Also, on the other hand, the space has grown quite a bit. We now have all these people on LinkedIn and other places who are just constantly discussing with their point of views. These new folks, young, smart, tech savvy, are sophisticated. So what they're doing is they're forcing data to get more integrated into the overall technology landscape. It used to be that when I started, we data team would get requests. We were kind of order takers. Change the stored procedure, add this column, and then we would go and just do our magic and then hand it back over. Now we are learning from software engineering, agile best practices. We're learning from infrastructure, DevOps, observability, and we're getting more integrated into the value chain. which is amazing because now we can produce outcomes faster, repeatable with automation. So this is why this space is so exciting.
So if you're wondering, if the data space is being affected by the crisis, in fact, what's happening is the opposite. You're seeing people that are seeing the opportunity to invest in it, innovate with it, to either save money, make money, or being operationally more sound. And I like this idea of maybe converging to data products and creating value programmatically throughout. This is a theme that we've talked about on this show.
Even some organizations have told me when they've had a budget crunch, they have actually moved their budget around to invest in the data and analytics space from other parts of the organization. So that's how important.
So it's a vector of growth, and it's a place where you can out-innovate the competition. So that's good for the good stuff.
Yes.
Now let's talk about what's not working.
So I want to echo what you just said. Modern data stack, 1,416 different companies. I think we have reached a tipping point where it's just unsustainable.
Yeah.
When you have so many different products, imagine people like me. For me, it's a nirvana because I get paid to research and write about it. But a business user has a day job. They're not in this area of researching, evaluating, trying to figure out. And it's not only that there are many products, there are many, many categories, and they're very narrowly focused point solutions. Like data catalog, there are over 75 data catalogs. So that is, I feel it's broken. And there's a corollary to that, because I feel this is not sustainable, and now that we are becoming more data centric, like in my first point, so I've been a big proponent of data products. Last Friday I published a blog. It took me 6 pages only to define
what a data product is.
Yes. I didn't even talk about practical use cases, attributes, life cycle. All of these things are coming. But if we don't have a consensus on what a data product is, how in the world are we going to...
How do we know we're even going to succeed?
Correct.
So what's interesting here is that with all this excitement, also comes a lot of complexity, and people need simplification, and they need to gravitate towards a concept that they can kind of charge towards, but we can't even define it together. So which brings me to the third question.
Can I add one more point?
Of course.
Okay. This is my
This
pet
is
peeve.
non-scripted, so we can do whatever you want.
Okay, this is my pet peeve. Last year, November of 2022, we were talking about another AI winters coming.
Yeah.
In December, AI was going to change the world. So today we are saying ChatGPT, GPT-4 just got announced. All of these things are revolutionary, once in a lifetime, once in a decade kind of a thing. And I'm amazed at what ChatGPT, the GPT-4 can do. I can show it a list of ingredients in my fridge, and it'll create me a recipe. I can hand draw a website, and it'll create me a working HTML code. It's just mind-boggling. But you already know what happens when you train your language model on inaccurate data. So I think we have some foundational problems that we still have not fixed, and we've jumped to a great application, which is great, but we cannot neglect that we still need to fix the governance, the security, the quality. All of those things are still not done.
And I think that's a terrific point. Every customer conversation I have about that, there is the combination of the excitement of the new technology, but there's also the being careful with the input into that model, because it could really generate bad outcome. So which brings me to the third question. I'm going to get there.
Okay.
Which is, if you think about what's happening this week, we have thousands of people talking about various topics. What are you most excited about this week? What should we be looking at?
So I am most excited about meeting in this order.
Yeah.
Consumers, customers, vendors, and analysts.
Okay. Why that order?
So that's because I feel that we are in IT space or data space, we are always talking to each other. On LinkedIn has literally exploded, and we are all following each other, regurgitating what we are learning.
I'm with you on the customer first. But I'm just wondering, why do you have the analyst last?
Because customers and vendors have a problem to solve. Analysts, sometimes I'm an analyst. I think we create more problems than we solve because we create all these categories, and then every vendor starts trying to fit what category we are in. And if you go to the business consumer, they're like, dude, I have a problem to solve. I don't care
Yeah.
what you call it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's why.
So the partnership customer vendor is going to be indicative of where the industry is going
Correct.
for you as
Yes,
well.
absolutely. And why I have vendors in the middle is because I work with a lot of vendors, and very high respect for work that you and others do. You guys know your space deep inside really well, but the price you pay is that there's a overall landscape that sometimes does not get stitched together. That's where the analysts come in. So and the vendors then have to deliver on what consumers need. So it's a trifecta, but I'm very excited to learn from the consumers.
Well, the point you're making here is something we've created as a discipline called outbound product management. This idea of coming from the perspective of the customer and meeting them where they are. Sometimes when they're not even using some of our software or services. And so I think that is something to absolutely take into consideration. Use this week's event as the platform for you to meet others, connect with Sanjeev wherever you can, and connect with other folks. That's the idea behind this little recording as well that I do every week. Well, Sanjeev, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Dream come true.
Well, and thanks for wearing the glasses. I will see you next week.